It's the Jake and Ben Show. 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 Oh.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Jake and Ben Show. I'm Jake, and I'm here with Ben. And
Hey.
we're gonna be a little more relaxed today. I think it's a slower news week, but we have a handful of things to talk about that Ben has written down. So
Yes, I do. So we'll go right into it.
sure, let's do
Today's
it.
Saturday. You know what yesterday was? It was a big day. Infinity War trailer 2, and tickets went on sale right after.
Oh, really?
We talked quick before we started recording, and you had mentioned that you are staying away from trailers, promotion. You did not watch the trailer. So let me ask you, did you know tickets went on sale?
No, I didn't. But right after this,
Okay.
I'm probably gonna buy them.
Yeah. I got my tickets yesterday. I'm glad I did because the theater that I go to is selling out pretty quick. I checked it this morning. It's not sold out, but it's getting close to it. I'll start with, since I watched it, that I fucking loved the trailer. It was, it hits on all the right strings, and to me, I was close to you. When the trailer came out, I was like, do I want to watch it? Do I not want to watch it? Because, I mean, The Last Jedi I mentioned before, and Black Panther, I only watched the teaser and the first trailer, which I guess essentially be the same thing for this, but of course it's Infinity War. We're close to a month and a half. You feel maybe they're going to give something big, and so I get out of class, and I look at my phone, I see the trailer dropped a few minutes ago, and I see the thumbnail. And do you want me to say the thumbnail? Like, I won't. I know we're in an age now of spoilers. People don't want to hear them, and even to the point, people don't want to hear trailer spoilers. So I don't have to say what this shot is because the shot might be the biggest spoiler in the trailer.
I've seen some screenshots from the trailer, so I don't know if those are the ones you're talking about. I've seen like Thanos, his big hands on certain people's faces. I think that's what it was. But
yes.
That's about all I've seen from the trailer.
If that's what you saw, then it is the shot that got me to watch it. It's Thanos and Captain America holding that hand. When
Right.
I seen that, I was like, man, how can I not watch this? I gotta watch this. So I hit play. And it wasn't like the full, like, you sit down, relax, watch a trailer. We're walking to a class because we had to do a production meeting. So we're walking in this class, and I put my headphones on. I'm looking at this phone, and I'm walking at the same time. So I'm kind of looking out, make sure I don't walk into a wall. But it got me. Where it's going to be 10 years of this. I remember the first time seeing Iron Man in theaters. That you get emotional at some parts, and then you see interactions between certain characters, and it's what I've been waiting for, and a lot of people have been waiting for. I can't wait for it. And with Thanos, with the MCU, they've had the track record of, a lot of villains being subpar. You get a few good ones in there. Killmonger, Loki. I loved Vulture. I know a few people that love Vulture. I'm not sure if that's I'm not sure where he ranks on most people.
I think most people love him. I think most people, he's right up there.
Yeah, so with Thanos, it's like I don't want to get my expectations like really high, but every line I've heard him say in these trailers, love it. Everything I've heard of him, I love it. We get motivations of why he's doing what he does. I'm not sure if you heard any of the motivations.
No, I haven't heard any of them.
Did you want to hear?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well,
I'm already sold on the movie, so
I'll
I've
say
seen the first
this
trailer. Go ahead.
without saying his exact motivations. Hearing his motivations aren't like with some villains you hear, okay, I guess that's his motivation, sure. But from when I hear the motivations of Thanos, it makes sense. And I love it. And the trailer opens up with Gamora talking to some people and, giving some backstory on Thanos, which was nice because their connection. So it's nice to hear it from her. Again, since I know even myself, when The Last Jedi came out, I did not want to hear anything about TV spots, trailers. I didn't want to hear anything. So I'm conscious of that. So if there's people out there that don't want to hear anything about the trailer, and even you, I'm going to try not to say too much. There's one line in this trailer that I would love to say, and I don't feel like it's a big spoiler, but I can see some people be like, I don't want to hear that. It's one line Thanos says, and the whole trailer, loved it, but this one line stuck with me. Do you want to hear it?
No.
Okay. Well, for people who have seen the trailer and may know I'm talking, it's close towards the end, and Thanos is talking to a certain someone, and there's a bit of, let's say, respect shown, and it was my favorite line of the trailer. But there's just the whole trailer. For me, it was, when watching it, I didn't want to see too much. I didn't want to see the with The Last Jedi. I talk about how I went through that whole marketing thing. One thing I was okay with seeing, but at the same time it would have been awesome to experience it in the theater, was the shot they show of Snoke holding his hand out, and you see right there. I was fine with it in the trailer, but at the same time, there's a part of me that was like, it would have been really nice to experience that in the theater. I don't think there was a moment in this trailer that was like the Snoke and Rey thing. Maybe the end with Cap and Thanos, but I don't think they spoiled anything major. I think they rode the line of giving you some story, showing you some action, but not giving everything to you. For me, myself, this is all I'm going to watch. If there's any TV spots, anything, any more promotional stuff, interviews, I'm not going to listen to them or watch them. The movie's coming up. It's March 17th now. The movie comes out April 26th if you see it on Thursday, which I am. So I'm staying away from everything. I'm pumped up. My excitement, I expected to be really excited, but not to the point where I'm at. Like, it's an emotional excitement. Coming up on 10 years. And I want to hear from you. How do you feel going into this? I think you mentioned that you weren't there from the beginning, but like, for even still, it's 10 years. Is it getting you in the emotional way?
Yeah, and just to talk about like the not watching the trailer thing, it's nothing like, I've always watched trailers religiously for movies, and I even watch like, things you miss things, but with The Last Jedi is when I first consciously decided that I'm gonna avoid some promotional material. Ryan Johnson tweeted about how you should try and not watch things, and so I limited myself. And then the night before the Infinity War trailer dropped, I saw some tweet, it just came up, and it said something about how challenge yourself to not watch the trailer, and then it went into the spiel about how you'll enjoy the movie this much more. And I just thought, I'm gonna see the movie anyways. I don't need to be sold on it anymore. And there has been plenty of times in movies where a moment happened in the trailer and I sat down and watched the movie and really wish I had seen that moment for the first time. So maybe I should have watched it for this. That might have been the more professional thing to do. I don't know. But for myself, I want to avoid it as much as possible. And I've seen some screenshots from the trailer just because that's how the internet works. And, fine. It's not a big deal, but like the characters who are going to interact for the first time, like Star-Lord and Iron Man, I believe I saw a screenshot with them together. Yes. I think that's such a unique pairing, and whatever they have to say to each other, I want to see and hear while I'm watching the movie. So I'm just going to avoid it as much as possible. But that's totally understandable. But even like, to highlight another thing in the trailer, the things that they say to each other is one of the highlights of the trailer. I mean, the whole trailer is a highlight of the trailer. It's just, I think for me, it really hit on everything, but specifically that, for people who have watched it, will probably say that's one of their favorite moments of the trailer, hearing what they said to each other. Huh. See, like, just hearing that does make me more tempted to watch the trailer, but I know I'll be far more satisfied if I wait for the movie, so that's what I'm going to do. But you asked me about, emotionally, how I feel about this movie, being 10 years almost. When did Iron Man come out? Is it almost 10 years?
2008. May of 2008.
May. Okay. So yeah, just shy of 10 years. I didn't start watching these movies until The Avengers, the first one in 2012. So I was 4 years late. And even then when I watched it, I wasn't fully into because The Avengers was the first movie I saw in the MCU. So I wasn't fully engrossed by the franchise. But I've seen every movie since Iron Man 3 in theaters. So, even though I wasn't there from the beginning, I'm still attached to these characters, of course. And though Marvel hasn't made an amazing movie, they are so consistently good to great that it doesn't matter. And I'm sure this one's going to be great. And just, although not all the movies work sometimes, like I don't think Civil War works as well as, some people may think it does. But what makes that movie strong enough and watchable is the characters and how much you love them. So seeing all these characters we love together, the Guardians and the Avengers for the first time. That's what I'm most excited about. Really, I'm not too interested in Thanos and how menacing he's gonna be, and what kind of chaos he's gonna. What kind of chaos? Yeah. Where am I going with this? Honestly, I just don't really give a shit about where the story leads. I just want to see all these characters interact. Like,
okay, well,
that's all I want to say.
From there, at least from my perspective, and all film is subjective. So, for me, Civil War is my favorite MCU movie. I think they've hit a few amazing movies, a lot of great, and I think, like, again, they're consistently at least good. I don't think there's one bad movie. I think there's weaker movies, but I don't think there's one that's like, that is a bad movie. For me, I agree with, I want to see these interactions, but I am more so into the Thanos. I really want to see what Thanos brings to the table, and he's like, that is what brings my excitement level to another level. Is that I want to. There hasn't been a villain that comes in when even you're attached to these heroes for it's going to be 10 years. With being attached to them and loving them, there hasn't been a villain that has come in and me to be like, I can't wait to see this guy kill some of these heroes that I love and I don't want them to die. But if anybody's going to kill them, I want Thanos to do it. I want to see, like, I'm rooting for him to kill somebody.
Yeah, okay, I am interested in seeing who dies though. So if that counts as excitement for Thanos,
I have some speculation, and okay, I think speculation is good. Theories is what can lead you into a dark path. I feel theories can set up a false sense of expectation. So I like to speculate. It's the fun of things, but I know I don't expect my speculation to be true. It's just something I speculate. Could be wrong, could be right. We'll see. But one thing I've been talking about with a few people is, again, I haven't heard any rumors. I haven't checked the dark webs. I don't know if this is true. It's just speculation. Is that I feel that Loki is going to be one of the first ones to die within the first 5 to 10 minutes, if not 10 minutes, first act. And it's seeing something in the second trailer leads me to think this more. I won't say specifically what it is, but just for spoilers for Ragnarok, where you see how Ragnarok ends at the post-credit. You know something bad's happening. And you hear Kevin Feige come out and say, yeah, some bad shit's going to happen in the first 5 minutes, and you're going to see why Thanos is a bad motherfucker. That's not, he didn't say motherfucker, but that's the way I take it. So, and you just know something bad's going to happen, especially bad things are going to happen on that ship if you've seen Ragnarok. I think Loki is dead within that first 5 to 10 minutes. I'm 80% sure that's going to happen. There's also the 20 that maybe will be the first act, but I think he's the first one to go of the main guys that we know.
Shit,
that's my little speculation there.
I mean, yeah, I don't know any. I couldn't even begin to guess who's gonna die, but I like that the most, more than the Iron Man's gonna die, the Captain America's gonna die. Loki is a good character to kill because he's not like useless. That's usually what they kill. They kill the useless characters. Like, he's not Quicksilver, but he's also not Iron Man or Captain America. That's a good call. I think we should probably start moving on because we're on this topic for about 14 minutes.
I'll say
or so.
one quick thing is that with Avengers 4 that will come out in a year after Infinity War, I feel the deaths that will happen in Infinity War will be more of the B team, and the A team will start to die in 4. Could be wrong. Could be totally wrong. But
I think what's gonna happen, I guess, if I am gonna speculate, which I said I wasn't gonna, but I'm gonna. We're going to see a major character die in Infinity War and then be brought back to life a year later.
I don't so Kevin Feige, we'll talk quick. Kevin Feige came out and said pretty much, be careful what you ask for. There's going to be people that die and they're not coming back.
I'm sure that's going to happen too. I'm sure people are going to die and not come back.
Yeah, I see this because then it goes on to how does it end, because it could be something that changes the cinematic universe as we know it, and maybe some people can come back that way, maybe not. I originally, like a few months ago and years ago, I was starting to think, hey, maybe that scene in Age of Ultron that Tony sees, maybe that happens, but I mean, you get Doctor Strange in there, maybe he brings back time, they do something where that doesn't happen, but some people will still die. I think out of the main trio, I won't speculate too much of who's to die. But you know, it'd be fun to do sometime, maybe like a week before Infinity War comes out, is to do an Avengers death pool. You know, we can do a draft. Like, all right, who's gonna? I think that'd be fun.
Let's do it.
So we can do that later. But with that being said, I think a big A-lister that's gonna, A-star that's gonna die, A-team would be Cap. I think Cap's gonna go. I feel you'll feel that if he does. Could be wrong, but we'll move on to Ava DuVernay. You saw Wrinkle in Time. I saw Wrinkle in Time. We saw it a little bit later. That's why we didn't talk about it last week. We'll talk about that first because there's a few Ava DuVernay things that I would like to get to.
Okay. Did you like A Wrinkle in Time?
I did not. I'll start off with saying that I feel like A Wrinkle in Time could be, if I'm going to compare it to a movie, it's like The Phantom Menace. When I was a kid and I saw Phantom Menace, I enjoyed it. I didn't follow the story. I just looked at things. I'm like, that's cool. I see a Jedi. They're fighting. Cool. I grow up, start to get older, and I'm like, yeah, this is not a good movie. This is not a good movie. So with The Wrinkle in Time, I think the visuals look really good. I think they do some cool things there, but I don't think it's a good movie. I'll say one thing. I have a strong suit, and maybe you could look this up while I say it. The main actress in there, I forget her name. It's like she's got like a superhero name. It sounds like she's out of the Fantastic Four.
Let me see. I'll just search it on my phone real quick.
Yeah, search on your phone quick. But she is a star.
Storm Reed?
Storm Reed. Yeah. Does that not sound like a superhero name?
Because I think there is a superhero called Storm.
Yeah, Richard, read something.
Oh, yeah, true. That's right.
I think Mr. Fantastic is Reed something. Reed Richards.
Yeah,
Reed Richards.
yeah.
But yeah, she's got a badass name. I think she's a star. And there's some things that the movie does get to, but okay, one annoying thing, and before I get into overall thoughts of this, but there's the brother in the movie, I forget if his name is Charlie or Charles, but anytime they address it,
Charles Wallace.
I guess spoilers, but anytime they talk to this kid, it's Charles Wallace.
Yeah.
Like, what the? Can we stop saying Charles Wallace? It's supposed to be your brother. It's like, they just call him Charles, Wallace. Why Charles Wallace all the time? I thought the friend, I guess, I didn't think he was that good. I didn't care that he was.
No, I didn't like what. Yeah. I hated how they handled him. They're doing like the, in a traditional movie like this, maybe the woman, he's the damsel in distress character.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that they just flipped the genders and then that's okay. No, I didn't like the character was useless and they handled him very poorly and they're trying to do the damsel in distress thing. Doesn't work.
I guess I should ask you this. You asked me if I liked it. Did you like it?
No.
Okay.
However, there was there was 2 moments that I thought were actually really well done. But the problem is the rest of the movie around those 2 moments was awful. The moments I'm talking about is, want to get into spoilers or how do you want to do this?
It's been out for close to 2 weeks now. I think we are safe to go on to spoilers, but we'll give the warning out if people haven't seen it yet.
Okay. So the scene where, okay, hold on. It was the dumbest villain ever. So
yes.
I hated where they they blamed all the bad in the world on this black blob in the sky, and this movie is for children who are gonna watch this, and my dad hits me, but I'll just pray the black blob away because they show the kid's abusive father right after showing this, and I just thought that's not really a responsible way to handle problems with the world. What was it? I remember they showed the example of what it was doing. Oh yeah, it showed his abusive dad, and it also showed jealous people. I'm like, those are not those,
in the movie.
Yeah, those are not the same. They're not in the same fucking field game. I don't know the expression. I'm freaking out right now. So being jealous and abusing your kid is somehow the same evil. I thought that maybe I'm just nitpicking, but that was That was a little ridiculous to me. The use of pop music in this movie was super cringy. It didn't work at all. However, the moments that I enjoyed that I was talking about were they first got to the and the storm that happens at first is pretty cool, but the thing with all the kids dribbling the basketball and then the moms come out, Like, there's some really imaginative world building here.
Yes.
And that part was so cool. And the stuff on the beach with Michael Pena's character, I believe that was Michael Pena.
Yes, that was.
That whole thing on the beach was amazing. And then even following that into the White Room. Okay, maybe there was more that I liked. There's the span when they get onto the storm.
Yeah.
Up until, Chris Evans' return. Like, I
Chris,
thought...
Chris Pine.
Chris Pine, fuck. You know how many times I've called him Chris? My girlfriend and I saw it, and I fucking kept talking about it and kept saying Chris Evans. All right, Chris Pine. Up to his return, like that whole chunk there, I think is really good. But man, Big Oprah is not like Big Oprah. Like her, her
you know
character
that
is
leads
big,
to something I want to say.
And it's so bad. All right, you can go ahead.
And it'll just be on this Oprah thing. So I don't dislike Oprah, but I don't love her. You hear a lot of people that talk of Oprah as if she's a god. They worship her. And anytime she had an award ceremony, she sits in the front. Everybody just gets on their knees for her. And I mean, not to every week go back to like a Howard Stern thing, but if you're a Howard Stern fan, you'll know certain like Oprah things that he talks about, and it's essentially goofs on her. Doesn't hate her, doesn't love her, goofs on her, and maybe that's where it rubs off on me. I don't think so, but I think it's ridiculous. Everybody talks about her as if she's a god, they worship her, and then you see her in this movie. When she first shows up, she shows up as if she is a god. She is huge, and you see her like that for like two different scenes in it, and then you later you see her as a human size. And okay, what is it? Because Oprah, we had her looking like a god?
Yeah, it was.
And maybe I'm thinking too much into that.
No. See, there's nothing wrong with Oprah. I don't dislike her.
No, it's
there's
not
nothing
Oprah.
wrong with Oprah, but like
it's just she ain't a god. Why are we portraying her as a god?
She's not really good actress at all, at least in this movie at all. The Three Witches were pretty bad altogether.
Yes,
I hated whenever they showed up. Really annoying.
I'll say this. Even talking about Oprah, my favorite. I guess which of them all would be Oprah. I thought Reese Witherspoon was in a totally different movie.
Oh, fuck.
She was ridiculous.
Yeah, I thought she was
I could not stand Mindy Kaling talking in quotes, and I don't...
I thought that was a unique idea. I thought it was a unique idea.
Sure, but I just don't think it was executed well. I thought it was ridiculous.
I agree.
Yeah, I couldn't... And then when she talks, like, in her own voice... Oh, yeah, sure, whatever. Those three took me out of the movie every time they came in, but if I'm going to say one that I could stand, it would be Oprah. I couldn't stand her being giant and then normal size. Could we have just stuck with giant or normal?
Yeah, no, I'd rather just never have been giant to begin with. Just because, like, it made for some... Because, like, you're getting Meg, Storm Reed's character. She's seeing this stuff for the first time. And just the witches alone is ridiculous. And it would be a lot for her young mind to grasp, or anyone's mind, regardless of age. It's ridiculous. It's otherworldly. But to have fucking Godzilla Oprah in it, too. And then her to just be like, yeah. Like, shrug her shoulders, it's just... Fucking just make Oprah her normal size, okay? Everything's okay. But...
it really didn't serve the story to make her giant.
No. But to echo some of your sentiments from earlier, Storm Reed is amazing in this movie. The main character, Meg. I think so. Chris Pine's great, but the witches and the two boys, her friend and her brother, they're fine. But like Storm Reed is clearly the standout in this movie,
yes,
and
she is the
excellent.
star.
I think she was so good.
Yes.
I really liked. I didn't really like. I liked the relationship, the brief glimpses of it that you get between Chris Pine, his wife, who I don't believe. I don't know if you even get a name for her.
That's a
and
good question.
Meg. Like I like that. Not enough for me to not dislike this movie. I still think the strong parts are the two main set pieces I mentioned earlier, the houses and the beach. But that whole chunk is good, but. It's just like the negative in this movie really drove me insane. Like I was just bored and annoyed for the majority of it. That's about how I put it. But there was potential here, so it's disappointing that it wasn't good. There's talented people involved, but whatever.
Yeah, I guess overall same thoughts. It's just I got bored. I was taken out of it. If there was, I liked the relationship between Chris Pine and his wife in the movie and. Meg, Storm Reed, that worked for me, and I guess it was somewhat, I'm not going to say satisfying, but like to the end, it's like, sure. To point out one other thing that I thought was like it just took me out again. It was before, like it was when they were like in that It thing, but like kind of before the whole main climactic somewhat battle happens, and it's when Meg is with her father, and then he's like, "Come on, we gotta go," and she's like, "I can't leave my brother," and he's like, "Fucking, well, I'm getting out of here then. See you later." It's like, oh, okay, sure, whatever. But yeah, the relationship that they set up, I thought that worked. To me, it was a forgettable, boring movie with some good parts in it. I think my biggest takeaway is that Storm Reed, she was amazing, a star. Get her in more things.
Yeah, I pretty much. This is weird because we agree on the same things.
Yeah, when does that happen?
Yeah, I completely agree. It's you don't have to see it, so.
Yeah, I would say, yeah.
It's like YouTube, like cool moments from it after.
Exactly.
Like,
save your money, see something else. Yeah, maybe it'll be on Netflix. Then you can check it out. I wouldn't say, take your money to see it. Speaking of Ava DuVernay, we'll talk quick about her. There is a recent story. She was hired to direct a DC movie. It's based on the subject material New Gods. However, I'm not sure if the movie itself is going to be called New Gods. I guess, like, do you care about this story?
I like Ava DuVernay. Besides A Wrinkle in Time, I think that documentary she made, 13th or whatever, I think 13th was what it's called, was great, and Selma is great. But, I'm not familiar with New Gods at all, I think.
Yeah.
Talented director, give her a movie. So
yeah.
We'll see. She can redeem herself after A Wrinkle in Time.
Hopefully, yeah. With New Gods, I don't know too much of the source material. I know Darkseid, I know Steppenwolf, I know essentially the different planets. Jack Kirby came on when he left Marvel, wrote this, and however, I just don't know all the characters. Like Ava DuVernay, a little while ago, somebody tweeted out like, "Oh, who's your favorite like comic book character?" or something like that, and one of the characters is Big Barda. I don't know. I've heard the name. I just don't know. Like, I can't be like, "Oh yeah, I can tell you this, and this about her." Then you flash back. Now she got this job, which that character will be featured in here. Personally, I don't care. Ava DuVernay, she's talented. Hopefully it'll be good. But, I mean, this goes on to something else where we don't have to talk about too much, but I'll say my thoughts on it is that DC and Warner Brothers, they got no sense of direction what they want to do. And one of the things pointed out in this piece was that it will be separate from this whole DC, EU, DC, whatever you want to call it, since they said it. We don't really call it the DCEU. People just said that and they ran with it. It's going to be separate from that, and you don't know what the hell is going on with it. You got Aquaman, Wonder Woman 2, Shazam's in production. When the hell else is anything going to happen? You get the Flashpoint movie. You get the guys who directed Game Night in there. They say, yeah, we're directing it, but that went through 5-6 different directors. What the hell is going on? You hear this, that's like, where's your sense of direction? I don't feel it there. So I mean, I'm kind of past the point where I care about
Me too.
stuff like that, but
Me too.
It's just more when I hear stories like this, it's like, well, every time you say you hire this executive, you hire somebody from The Conjuring, a producer from The Conjuring to oversee everything, it's like, well, why do I care that you hired this person? And then I think we talked about, there's a few weeks ago, you get this other person who works for DC that goes on Twitter, and there's writers like, hey, I want to write Batgirl, like comic book writers and other female writers say, I got a Batgirl story to tell, and then you get this head say, all right, just here's my email, puts it out on Twitter. What do you like? Again, I don't care, but it's like all this stuff that comes out. It's like, well, you want me to care, but you're making me not care every time you put stuff out there.
I've given up on being interested in DC slate or the movies DC announce or the crew or that they announce. How many
executives have they said they hired and now they've fired to hire somebody else and nothing happens?
I don't care. I'll watch a movie when it comes out, but until then, all the news that comes out of it's just completely meaningless.
Yeah.
So,
to me, when I hear stuff like this now, it's like, all right, you've announced this, but until it's in the movie theater, like when it releases in the movie theater, that day and I go to see it, I'll believe that's coming out. Until then, I've heard so much shit that it's like, sure.
Yeah. No, I agree.
One other quick thing I'll say about Ava DuVernay. I told you maybe because I can't. I've got these feelings and I don't know how to say them. Because I'll just say it and maybe you can help me. You can put me on a track to where this is what I want to say. So Ava DuVernay, I think she's a hell of a talent. I want to see her direct a lot of things. She's amazing. And then she was in talks for Black Panther for Ryan Coogler, and I'm happy Ryan Coogler ends up directing it. But then she goes on to do Wrinkle in Time. Looking at those two movies, I think she should have took Black Panther, but you know what? We got Ryan Coogler. I'm happy. You get somebody to tweet out her, hey, would you ever direct a Star Wars movie? She says, no, that's not my thing. I don't want to do it. Then you get this New Gods movie, and she does it. This is where I'm confused with what I want to say, because at the same time, I'm like, all right, okay, if that's not what you're into, put your focus on something that you are into. But then it's just Ava DuVernay. She is a talent, regardless what I think of A Wrinkle in Time. I think she could do amazing things, whether it's Star Wars or MCU. And I want to see her do this stuff, but she don't want to do it. I don't know how I feel.
Yeah, I remember we talked about this briefly last week after we stopped recording, maybe is when it was.
Yeah, I think when we stopped recording.
And you talked about, I don't remember everything exactly. It was a little deeper than what you just said there about,
Yeah, because I was heated back then. I was
yeah.
Now, like, I've calmed down. My heat kind of went up when she takes this, when she gets this movie, New Gods. Where it's like, I'm simmered, but it's like, I'm still like, I want Ava DuVernay to do something like a Star Wars, but she's saying, I ain't into it. But then at the same time, if you are a director who, I love Ava DuVernay, but she's done stuff, but like, she's done Selma, the documentary, now Wrinkle in Time. Wrinkle in Time wasn't so good, but she's got this movie. But if you are I wouldn't say she's up-and-coming director, but if you're, getting up the ranks to be an A-list director, wouldn't you want to take something like that, one of the biggest franchises out there? But then the other side of me is like, you know what, good for her. She knows, she recognizes that's not her thing, so she ain't going to do it. But the other side of me is like, maybe it's the Star Wars fan of me where it's like, I want her to do this, especially hearing, I believe it was on the commentary for The Force Awakens, JJ saying it brought Ava DuVernay in, she made some notes on it. It's like, I'd want to see her do this.
It's just, conflicted. I have a lot of respect for her for not doing it. Actually, see, I think, like, if her heart's not there, if she is not passionate about Star Wars, I don't think she has to do it. If maybe she knows, Star Wars directors can get, Star Wars fans can be fucking nuts, and she could get a lot of backlash for it. Because maybe she makes a lesser quality film. Like even Rian Johnson, a lot of people, didn't dig it, and he got a lot of backlash. And maybe she sees that, she's like, you know what, she's making a name for herself elsewhere. She's doing projects that she's clearly passionate about. The three that we've mentioned a few times, each one of them, you can feel her fingerprint in the movie. You can feel her passion behind it, regardless if the film works as a whole or not. She has something she wants to say with each of her films, and that's something that she probably just doesn't see in a Star Wars movie. And that's, she's deciding where her place is in Hollywood, and Star Wars, I don't think, is her place, or she doesn't think it's her place. So that's just where I see it.
Yeah, for me, the one side tells me that exact same thing. The other half is like, I just want to see it, damn it. Just do it. Just do it. So
I get what you're saying. I
guess those are my thoughts. I'll put them out there. Maybe if someone agrees with the one side of me, they can say that or think it. They agree with the side that, like you've said, where it's like, all right, her heart isn't in it, so good for her for recognizing it's not her thing. Okay, maybe I'm just putting it out there. Somebody can hear it and they can go whatever way they want to go with it. But I think she is a great talent that I would love to see more things from her. And maybe this New Gods movie will come out and it's great, but I just don't care. So I would, I guess whatever. We'll see when it happens. Yeah. So, got a quick thing I'll mention here.
Okay.
Danny Boyle. Are you a fan of him?
Am I a fan of him? Yes.
You're a fan of him. Are you a fan of James Bond, the franchise? Not necessarily the last movie, just the franchise.
I have only seen 3 James Bond movies in my life, and I'm a fan of all 3.
Okay. So, Danny Boyle directing James Bond. Are we happy?
Yes.
All right. So, some news sites ran with this, I think, a bit too hard, of saying Danny Boyle is directing the next James Bond. He didn't exactly say it. He said, we're working on a script for James Bond, and that if the script's good, we'll do it. If it's not, then I'll do something else. So pretty much saying, yeah, he will direct it, but if for some reason the script is shit, they ain't gonna do it. He's not gonna do it, I should say. This movie would be with Daniel Craig. It would be Daniel Craig's last Bond. movie. For me, I'm excited. I'd like to see Danny Boyle direct a James Bond movie. The past two, directed by Sam Mendes. No, not Sam.
Yes, Sam Mendes.
Sam Mendes. Okay, yeah, directed by him. I loved Skyfall. I liked Spectre. I know that some people hated it. They liked it, whatever. I didn't love it. I was just okay. I like it. Didn't hate it. It's all right. However, you get Danny Boyle doing it. You get a new fresh director in there. Hopefully, you can energize Daniel Craig, and I want to see it. I'm happy. I've really loved two of Daniel Craig's Bond movies. One was okay. The other one, all right. Hopefully, this can be, because they have one great one, one not so great. Great one not so great. Hopefully, this can be a great one to send off Daniel Craig.
All right. I say Daniel Craig has two, because the only Bond films I've seen were Daniel Craig ones. He has two great ones and one amazing one.
Oh, okay.
And I haven't seen Quantum of Solace. So
right. Yeah.
I think Spectre and Casino Royale are great. I think Spectre is just as good as Casino Royale.
Wow.
I'm maybe even better.
Wow.
There's a hot take for you. I think Spectre
that is
so
one, yeah.
good.
Ooh, hey.
Then again, I'm not like super huge Bond fan, so maybe that's where it is. But I think Spectre works so well. Skyfall is fucking amazing. I love Skyfall. I know some people think like the Home Alone stuff near the end is a little ridiculous, but to me, like, man, I love Skyfall. But
yeah, it would be my favorite Bond film, Skyfall, right? Like Casino Royale is up there, but Skyfall just takes it over the edge to where I think it is the best Bond movie.
Yeah, that's fair. See, Skyfall's great, and Danny Boyle. I'm a big Danny Boyle fan. I love his, there's two sides to Danny Boyle. You have the Oscar Danny Boyle, and then you have the more indie Danny Boyle, where, he has 28 Days Later, but then, he also has Slumdog Millionaire. And I follow some people on Twitter who aren't too big of a fan of, Danny Boyle's more Oscar-y stuff, but, that's just a handful of people. I think he's excellent. Steve Jobs was fucking amazing. I watched that again recently, and it still holds up. I love that movie. Everything that I've seen from Danny Boyle that I could think of right now, on the top of my head, has been great to amazing. So, get Danny Boyle. Let's do it. But that's all I have to say. If you want to move on, we can move on. Yeah, we can move on. This, I guess now we can say this. We're going to be a bit more relaxed here. We're going to talk about some movies we've seen. Maybe there's something you saw on Netflix you want to talk about. I know you mentioned a comment. I'll start off with real quickly movies that I saw recently. I've seen Tomb Raider and Love, Simon. I'll talk about Tomb Raider real quick. I thought it's not the video game movie that's like that one's gonna that we're gonna get a bunch of great movies now because of Tomb Raider. It's not that. However, I don't think it's a terrible movie. I think it is if you watch the trailers, the tone of the movie is in those trailers. I like the first trailer. Second one, I was like, okay, all right. The second trailer, I think. Like that's the movie there. I had fun with it. There's some really bad dialogue. Some things that are like, okay, whatever. But I think at the end of the day, it's a fun film. I would say check it out. I do think it's fun. There's enough fun to be had there. I think Alicia Vikander, she doesn't have many lines. She has a lot of screaming and grunting. But she's gonna get an Oscar then. Yes, yeah. Give her an Oscar for the screaming and grunting alone, because screaming and grunting can come off like really just off and weird. It worked. And I believed her. This new movie, they wanted to shape it of the whole rebooted franchise of the game that came out, I think, in 2013. It's one that came out, I think, last year. I remember playing the one that came out in 2013, I believe. Well, when I say believe, I believe that's the year it came out. I remember playing it. I remember loving it. It was set more in like it was kind of like a darker tone-ish, more like realistic, but like with quotations around that because it's a video game still. You could I guess care about Lara Croft more. With this one, they go for that, but then there's a lot of comedic, goofy moments that they stick in there also. It's an origin, so it leaves you off with there could be a second movie if this one makes money, and if it does, I'd want to see it because you have your origin now. Now we can just go right into adventure and fun.
So I hope it makes money. The one thing I thought that was interesting is that the trailer, they show you and I wouldn't even call it a post-credit scene. It's post-title scene because it's not like they show you the scene after they show you the title Tomb Raider. It's not right after credits. So I guess, what do you call it, a post-title scene, a post-movie scene? Which was weird placement, but it kind of works. And there's one thing in this movie where I feel like when the writers wrote this, they wrote their movie, and then after they wrote it, they were like, yo, you know what? I got the best twist in mind. And just the twist felt so out of place, but it worked. It worked. It felt like it felt really just weird and out of place, but it worked for me. I think it's a fun film. I want
to see the movie even more.
Yeah, because when it ends, it's like usually like a twist will happen, and like there's more to do, but like this twist happens, and you're like, okay, sure, I'll go with it.
Fuck, that seems like a twist to set up a sequel. That's what that sounds like.
Essentially, it is, but it's so like it's delivered so weird. Like I can just imagine these guys writing and being like, yo, we don't have a twister, but like, I got the best idea, and they put it in, and it's just like it's like, I shouldn't like it, but I do. So maybe that's an endorsement to go see it.
Maybe
I do think it's a fun film. I do think it's a fun film. There's some dialogue where you'd be like, that is bad dialogue, but they have the actors in there to make you care about it. One guy in there, one of my recent binges was last year. I did Wire, and one of the mains in there is McNulty, played by Dominic West, and he's in Tomb Raider. He plays Lara Croft's father. I thought he was good. I like seeing him there. The villain was
Walter Goggins,
whatever.
right?
Yeah, Walter Goggins. Yeah, he's the bad guy, and if it wasn't for him, it would just be like that. This is a god awful villain, but he makes it. I
love me some Walter.
He makes it work. I'll give it a rating, I guess. When we talked about ratings, I know you didn't want to go into like point whatever, but I got to do it for Tomb Raider. I would
That's all right. This isn't even really one of our official reviews.
Yeah,
so
it's not official. It's unofficial. I would give it like a 6.5 because it rides the line of just okay to sometimes good. So I have to put it at like a 6.5.
Yeah, a 0.5 is not a big deal. It's just like when it's like a 6.238, that kind of thing.
Yeah, Tomb Raider is a 6.53920. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's solid. I'll see it.
Yeah, I recommend it. But one I really want to talk about is Love, Simon.
Let's hear it. Okay. You like it?
I love it.
Oh, good.
Like I mentioned last week, it's ridiculous to talk about like an Oscar movie now, and that's not what I'm getting at with Love, Simon. It is ridiculous to mention it, but like, and I guess to talk about last week, I don't think that the movie I mentioned last week should be. I wouldn't be surprised, only because talk about that with somebody after. What I mean by this is that, so to even say a top whatever of the year, it's ridiculous to say because there's not been that many movies to make one. However, I would say Love, Simon, of the movies I've seen this year, is my favorite. It is I love like coming of age movies. John Hughes, I grew up with John Hughes. So this movie, it captures the feel of like a John Hughes movie, a coming of age movie. It's got the funnies. It's got the funnies. It's got the hard. I want to say like heartbreaking, but there's sad moments in there, and it's just it's such an enjoyable time, and it's not like it was directed by Greg Berlanti, who I believe is a gay man. A lot of the cast in there I know is either lesbian, gay, or bisexual. It's much different than Call Me by Your Name, but it's a love story that it doesn't matter that it is about a gay story and a gay love story. Which again, if you watch the trailers, it starts off with like the main character saying like, I'm just like you, except I've got a big secret that he's gay. So it makes the, I had a talk with somebody like months ago, and not to mention Howard Stern all the time, but it's just like there's gay people that go on there, George Takei, and he's a gay man. And how me and my friend were talking about this, I showed him a clip of, they did like a birthday bash for George Takei, and they brought in gay dancers, and we are just saying, wouldn't it just seem like it's so fun to be a gay person? But then if you just take off like those glasses and you look at it, it would be really hard, man. Like it obviously is, but even just to like approach a guy that you don't know if they're gonna be gay, but they're probably gonna be straight. So I already have a hard enough time approaching women. I could imagine approaching guys. And then, watching this movie, you see stuff like that. But I think it's just such an enjoyable movie. I know my thoughts are going everywhere because there's a lot I want to say about this. The cast, I think, is amazing. Each cast member has a moment to shine. And the movie's only about an hour and 40 minutes, close to hour 50. So it's not short, it's not long, but it gives the cast enough time to have their moment. And when you follow this movie, there is why am I losing my train of thought here? It's you have a reveal. Yeah, there's a reveal in it. And when you follow the movie, it's like, okay, who is this certain person going to be? And when the reveal happens, it was a very satisfying moment. I will say that, not to spoil it. Somebody I was excited to see in this movie is, I think I've talked about this before previous weeks, is that I love the show The Flash. I watch all the CW shows. They can be goofy sometimes, but I love Arrow, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, and The Flash. And the guy who plays Kid Flash, I believe his name is Kean Longsdale. He plays Wally West. And in the show The Flash, especially the recent season, they didn't know exactly what to do with him. And so they put him over to Legends of Tomorrow. And I think the kid is I think he's great. So when I got to see him in this movie, it was nice to see, because I'm a fan of his. I think he's great. It was nice to see him on the big screen. I highly recommend this movie. It is personally my favorite of the year so far, which, again...
Better than Game Night?
Yeah, I think so. I think better than Black Panther. I think better than Game Night. I think Game Night, it's a comedy, so of course it's going to be funny, but I think the funny moments that happen in Love, Simon are funnier than things that happen in Game Night. There may be certain, like, there could be the vice principal in the movies. I could see some people being like, that it feels weird, the guy may seem out of place, but overall I don't think there's that much bad in it. I think it's a really fun, heartwarming, enjoyable movie to see. And I would give it a 9 if I were to mark it. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I seen it 2 days ago.
Okay, see, look, your review makes me want to see Love, Simon tonight. Because I think we're gonna go see a movie, but
yeah, if you see one,
twist of Tomb Raider has me so curious. Like, I don't want to sit through Tomb Raider for the ending.
Yeah. Okay. Honestly,
I'm gonna see both eventually. I'm sure.
Yeah. Honestly,
so.
I would say, like, go see Love, Simon first. I think it is a great movie, but at the same time, the twist in Tomb Raider is fantastic. Also, that I'd be like, yeah, go see that. Also, man. If I were to send you to go see it, I'd send you to see Love, Simon. But
okay, maybe I'll see Love, Simon then.
Yeah, the twist in Tomb Raider is, I think you'll love it. And yeah, I can't wait to hear your thoughts on the twist of Tomb Raider. I just think, yeah, Love, Simon's a great movie, and I want to see it again and again. I think it's great. And anybody's listening to this, if you haven't seen it, if you didn't care, go see it. Great movie.
All right. I'll see Love, Simon. All right. Yeah. Then maybe next week I can talk.
Yeah, you can comment on it.
If people still care, I'll mention it. But want to get to the one comment and then call it a day, because we're aiming for like 50 minutes, but of course we always go over, and we're at about 47 minutes or something right now.
Yeah.
So let's just do this comment. I'm gonna check out Love, Simon and Tomb Raider. I'm more interested now to see both now that you've talked about it, because I've read some reviews about Love, Simon, just on Twitter, like I do.
Yeah.
Some people not too enthusiastic. I've watched a couple YouTube reviews though, and people are. So hearing you liked it, I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah,
if I'm excited about seeing it.
Yeah, if I were to say of like any reviewer I've listened to or read that I'm on like the same page with, it would be Perry Nemroff from Collider. I watched her review a little bit after I seen the movie, and I was really close to what her thoughts were of the movie.
All right, cool. I haven't seen hers. I've seen What the Flicks and Chris Stuckman's, and they both dug it. So I'll watch Perry's maybe. Let's get into this comment though, okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's get this comment.
So this is from Mackenzie. And it's a long one, so bear with me here. But it's I think it's pointed towards you, and it's about something we discussed, I think, last week or maybe the week before. All right.
I gotta say, not to cut you off there, anytime anything's directed towards me, I get nervous. And
yeah, you should be nervous.
There was this one guy a few days ago who shot me a text. It was like 9. I'm getting ready to go to sleep, and he says, "What are you doing right now?" I'm like, "Oh fuck, what did I do now?" So he calls me. I'm like, "Dude, don't you fucking text me like that. It scares the shit out of me." And it was, nothing. But yeah, all right, let's hear it.
It's funny. All right, here we go. A couple episodes ago, you guys talked about how you don't support certain directors, i.e. Mel Gibson. But is it only the director's wrongdoings that will make you not support a film? Ben also stated that if Tarantino were to kill someone and be able to make a movie, you would not watch it, and he would have to seriously consider going back to watch movies like Pulp Fiction. Do you feel the same way about watching Tarantino films because Harvey Weinstein is a producer? It's not a director, but still someone very involved and high up in the film. So what I think she's getting at here is, maybe you already know, but
Yeah.
Because we did talk about your Mel Gibson issues.
Yeah.
And we did specifically only mention directors last time, and we talked about the what ifs about these directors' crimes. But here's a producer. It's not the director. It's not this person's vision. The film isn't their vision, but they're still, their name is all over the film, and they're high up. Do you have watching films produced by the Weinstein Company? Do you have a problem with it?
Yeah, that is a good question, Mackenzie. It's actually something I thought of. And it mostly started with I've seen like pictures, and it would be like behind a Weinstein company like thingamajigger, and I would see it, and I get uncomfortable seeing the photo, especially when you look back and you see a photo with Harvey Weinstein with like a Jennifer Lawrence or people, and it's like I get uncomfortable. So with that being said, I haven't went back and watched. I don't think I've watched any Harvey Weinstein produced movies since what has come out. At first, it wasn't a conscious decision. I just never got to one. And then I go on Netflix and I start looking at movies, and then I think like maybe I'll watch this one. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, it's a Weinstein Company movie. And I wouldn't watch it just because I'd have that in the back of my mind. If it were a case where like if I'm watching TV and one comes up and I'm not thinking about it, I don't think I'd have a problem. It's not that I wouldn't have a problem with it. It is kind of disgusting thinking back and you're watching this movie, getting this enjoyment, and then you could think of an incident Harvey Weinstein had with one of the lead actresses. And it's, I guess, at least for me, uncomfortable to think about when you watch these movies. And I don't think you'd be able to enjoy it. Again, I haven't watched a Weinstein Company movie since this has, all the news has come out, stories. So I can't necessarily say 100% that I'd be turned off, but it is, I guess, it is an uncomfortable thing to think about of what happened during productions of these movies. It's a good question, but right. I mean, I'm thinking like if Pulp Fiction's on the TV, am I not going to watch it because of Tarantino?
Because of Tarantino?
I mean, not Tarantino. I mean, Weinstein.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, not Tarantino. Weinstein. I mean, it's a good question, and it's one that I feel like with a lot of these type of questions, I ride the line on because
you don't have to have an answer all the time.
Yeah, I feel like if it's on the TV, I'd probably keep it on, but I don't think I'd go out of my way to watch it, because if I go out of my way to watch it, then I think about the production. I think of the Weinstein Company. I think of an actress who's in the movie and things that have happened. So if I consciously go out of my way, I have a hard time doing that, and I can't hit play. But if it's on the TV and it's already playing, I'd have an easier time watching it, because it's not like a conscious decision to go out of my way to watch this movie. It's there, and then I'm in the movie now. But if I'm going out of my way to, it's like if I'm to go out of my way to watch a Mel Gibson movie, I can't, because I have in the back of my mind. If it's on the television and it comes on, I'll be, fuck, it's Mel Gibson. Let me get out of here. But it's there. It's not going to be the first thing I think of than if I go out of my way to watch a Mel Gibson movie. Does that make sense?
I get what you're saying. I think that's a sufficient enough answer for the question, too. I think this question isn't really addressed towards me, but I think my answer last time about Tarantino still holds up just the same. Pulp Fiction is one of my favorite movies. There's a lot of people who work on the movie, so just one person being an asshole doesn't deter me away from the movie. I still love it, and yeah, that's about. If you really want to know my whole thoughts, listen to the episode we talked about this. I think it was last week or the week before, but it was mostly pointed towards you because of, you're a little more weary of the filmmakers and artists you support. So I think that's all, though.
All right, yeah, that's all I gotta say for this week. Until next week.
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna mention that I watched that Jim Carrey documentary where he's Andy Kaufman, Jim and Andy or whatever.
Yeah.
Just give that a quick shout out. I think we talked about it before briefly, right?
I think we did when we weren't recording.
Oh, okay.
I don't think we did recording. We are recording now, so I guess I will say love the documentary. I think it's great. It's great. I don't know what else to say other
Yeah,
than
I mean, that's
because
all I have
I
to
had
say,
watched
too.
it a few months ago, so I don't have all my thoughts fresh in my mind.
Yeah. It's bizarre. There's some moments of it that are really bizarre. Jim Carrey's a character. It's almost a little unnerving because his girlfriend who killed herself, and a lot of this new wave of Jim Carrey, how he's acting feels like a little bit of backlash from that. But
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel too much about that. It's definitely strange. I think.
Well, before we finish, then I'll ask you this: was saying that when he was in character as Andy Kaufman and the family comes in to visit,
That's
what did you
what
think
I was
of that?
saying was the
How'd
most
you feel
bizarre
about that?
thing. Like, I'm sure it's in some way therapeutic for the family, but I think ultimately it's wrong.
Yeah.
But whatever helps the family.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine being that family though, and having someone that isn't your family member, but they feel so close to it. It'd be very bizarre, and I don't know. Whatever works for them, I guess, but it feels almost wrong. But I don't know. Jim Carrey is very talented, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I think the documentary, I think it's a good to a great documentary. It's really interesting, just the way it gets into artist's mind, and how much are you willing to commit to your craft, and that way it's really interesting, and I love that part about it. I don't think it's quite as deep as maybe Jim Carrey or the filmmakers think it is. I think Jim Carrey is a little off his rocker a bit, where he says some things he thinks are profound, but it's something you'd find on an 8th grader's Tumblr.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that kind of thing, but I still have a lot of respect for him, and yeah.
Yeah, to me, after I watched it, I didn't really think of it as like a deep documentary. I can see how some people might take it that way. To me, I think it is an interesting character study of a actor, a person. I thought it was very interesting to see what went on.
No, it's a unique character study
yeah.
with Jim Carrey being the character. I like it. Anyways, I think that's where we can end the show for this week. A little on the shorter side, but short and sweet. If you've listened this far, thank you very much. We had one question this week, and that was awesome. So thank you very much to that person. And if you're listening and do you have some things to say, something maybe you disagreed with us, maybe you just want to know something about film, I don't know, you want to hear our opinions on it, drop a question. Tweet us at Jake and Ben Show, Facebook. We're on Facebook too, on YouTube. Jake and Ben Show, you'll find us. Don't worry about it. You'll find us. That's really all.
Yeah.
Thanks to
do you have
Jackson
anything you want to plug?
for the art
Talk
and the
about?
music.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I don't believe so.
Yeah, well, I got nothing to plug other than if you're listening this far, make sure you're here next week because we will be here.
Yeah. I'm surprised how consistent we've been. Saturday, Sunday, we'll be there on one of those days. But yeah, we've been good. All right. Proud of us.
All right. See ya.
All right. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.